Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to today's message. As usual, as you are tuning in, whether you are joining me live right now or you're catching the recording, I would absolutely love for you to co-create this space with me. So definitely drop me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And today's message is going to be a particularly valuable one, basically for all of us who want to actually be making an actual meaningful difference in the world as it requires it. And it really requires it right now. I think we can all agree. And what's actually sparked today's message is a very emotional and meaningful actual conversation I had with one of my favorite human beings in this world just yesterday. And basically they were expressing their very passionate outrage to what's going on in the world. They live in a different country to me, so it was really interesting. I love the fact that I've got so many friends and clients who are spread out across the globe, so that we basically get to communicate with one another and see what's actually going on in each of our worlds and compare and contrast and see, basically here in Australia, I can see that we're kind of, it's like the rest of the world is further down the timeline to us. So I find it really interesting when I get to hear what's going on in these different countries around the globe from everybody that I get to connect with, and compare and contrast it with what's going on here for myself in Australia and also in other countries, right? And basically the conversation that I had yesterday has really just moved me to have a conversation with you guys today. And also for those of you who really want to, if you stay till the end of this message, if you're somebody who is invested in a conversation like this, basically I have been inspired to offer something that I've never done, just as a way of serving and contributing to anybody that I can possibly serve, based on what's been triggered within me, which has been very empowering. And so if you hang around to the end, you'll learn about what that is. And I hope to connect with you if it resonates with you. But today, what we're basically going to be doing is empowering ourselves, like we do always, to become the leaders of our own lives. And today, I'm going to articulate through this story and through some of the conversation that I had just yesterday. I am going to talk into basically being an empowered leader for all of us who actually want to make a difference, and being able to discern when we get, that passionate outrage, and being able to discern when we are contributing to the healing of the globe right now, or if we are actually contributing to the trauma of it unknowingly a lot of the time. And so I want to really empower us with this perspective. And as usual, I definitely want to hear from you guys, and I'd love to hear your words of wisdom, your experiences, any questions that you may have, or anything that you feel is of value to the conversation today. I love co-creating this space with you guys, as you know, and so I can't wait to check in with you guys around that as well. And so today, what we want to do is get into it. All right, so my question to each and every one of you guys today is, are you magnifying trauma or healing in the world right now? Now, the conversation that I had yesterday with one of the most beautiful human beings that I know personally in my own life was really 2 hours of really them expressing their real passion and their heart, and really just looking at what's going on in the global environment right now, particularly in their country and what they're being faced with, and seeing this whole new energy and power coming out of this beautiful human being, right? And I really saw them in their element. I felt like they were really being called to break through their own fears and limitations and insecurities, and basically do something for the betterment of a larger community, right? And I was so moved by what this person was sharing with me that I was like in tears throughout it, basically. And they were really alerting me to some of the aspects that I was kind of not really focusing on, basically, and not needing to, in the way that this particular person, with how their life is, the different lifestyle that they have is forcing them to really face this. And as I went on this journey of really listening and feeling into their experience, basically I saw two things. I saw like absolutely them being called into their power right now, to be a voice where others won't be it, to, even if what they had to share was able to impact and help and support and transform one other human being, it was required and necessary for them to do that, right? And I saw their passionate outrage, right, being expressed. And on the flip side of that, like, it took me to sleep on it and to come into the day today. And as I do each morning, I check in with myself and, I really see what's going on inside, right? And I also ask myself, what am I avoiding, right? And, oh my gosh, there is a fox out there. Oh my gosh, I have to show you guys. Can you see? Can you see that? Oh my gosh, I just have to like, hang on. Oh my gosh, I got too excited then. I hope you guys could see it. I'll have to check it out on the recording, or let me know if you could actually see that. But there was a fox that just like literally came up to my window. What a sign. I don't know what that is. But basically, let me get back into my thoughts, because that was exciting for me. It was so cute. But they are full of fleas, and, we don't want fleas. But anyway, so basically I saw this passionate outrage with this person. I saw them didn't see it. Damn it. Oh my gosh. That was just like, yeah, I didn't have my technology ready for that. Okay. So basically I saw the passion, right? The outrage, this person being called forth to have a voice, right? In a sea of one-sided, like basically the narrative being portrayed in this one-sided approach, right? And them needing to stand forward and being called to stand forward, right? And have a voice. And even if they felt like they couldn't make a difference, they knew they would regret it, right? If they didn't stand up and do whatever they could right now. And on the other side of that, when I slept on it and I checked in with myself right now, I also felt this twinge of unhealed trauma also at play, right? And it got me thinking about this, right? Because, and what they shared with me, I'm not going to share the details of this because I'm going to keep this person anonymous on their own journey. It's not my place to speak about their journey, right? But basically, this person on their own personal journey, they mentioned that their biggest regret in their life was actually very directly related to what they were so passionate about having a voice for and making a difference with, right? And so what it actually alerted me to, I actually had the intuition when we were having the conversation, but it took me to sleep on it to actually have that integrate and then for me to realize what was going on there. It actually was like a passionate outrage for something they definitely need to stand up for and they're fully educating themselves on. But it was also triggering this unhealed trauma related to their biggest regret that was coming up to the surface, right? And like I mentioned in the Facebook Live I did for you guys a couple of days ago, what's happening in the globe on the globe right now is our unhealed wounds and traumas are being unmasked, and that's how we're responding and reacting to having our freedoms taken away. If you didn't catch that one, I definitely invite you to go back to that one from a couple of days ago. But basically, what I was seeing was this individual was basically having this traumatic trauma that they've repressed, that deepest regret coming up to the surface, and it was energizing their passion, right? And so why I'm expressing this is because it's so incredibly important if each of us as an individual wants to actually make a meaningful difference, wants to actually spark some meaningful transformation and empowerment and health into our communities and the globe and into our families and our relationships and anywhere we want to actually have empowerment and health take place, we have to take ownership over the unhealed traumas of our past that are being triggered in an environment like this or anywhere that there is challenge to our way of being. And the reason is because if we don't, the most well-intentioned people amongst us can end up unknowingly creating and magnifying more trauma into the external environment where they were actually wanting to and desiring to basically create healing and health and empowerment. And so the reason why I mention this is because this human being has such a great, huge heart of gold, and they've done a ton of personal development work, right? And basically, that's never ending. And basically, because they were so emotionally charged around it, it did alert me to the fact that if they want to really have that serious impact and that leadership take place, yes, they need to step up. They need to have a voice. They need to do what they're called to do. Plus, they need to utilize this opportunity to take some of that energy, reflect back and focus on the self, and allow this to be the opportunity for them to actually call that repressed trauma up to the surface so that they can do the work to heal it, so that they can be a balanced leader, an empowered, balanced leader, right? And the way you can know for yourself through my experience and my journey, and see if this can resonate for you, but the way you can know if you're actually contributing to the healing and the health of your external environment rather than projecting trauma and magnifying trauma in the external is looking at the emotional charge behind what you choose to do. I'm all about getting passionate and tapping into where we see injustice in the world and where we see things that need to change. But we got to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves and the rest of the world, basically. Because what we are seeing, and I feel like this is an amazing time in history to actually see what's being drudged up in times of challenge that most of us haven't experienced in our lifetimes, unless you're like my turning 96-year-old granny next week, who is a survivor of the Holocaust and gone through the depressions and, all sorts of things with that, right? But most of us, this is a very new time in our history and our experience that is triggering things for us. And we are, I believe, going to be able to look back at this time and see it from, that perspective of, how much we were driven by trauma versus health and healing, and what was being dredged up, amongst all of us, and how that impacts each other. And the way I look at it is when there is like radical viewpoints or real extremes, there's the right and the left, right? There's the blackness and the whiteness, right? Like there's no gray area, right? There's no centralism. And one of the things this beautiful human being said yesterday, which, it just reminds me of this, is you look at the perspective on the left, you look at the perspective on the right, and basically the truth is in the middle, right? And when we can do that, like I'm looking at it as a global thing, right? We want balance in our society, right? We don't want this radicalness. We don't want this extremeness. We don't want this you against me-ness, right? And we can get so caught up in that, but we have to realize if that's what we're doing, if we're just trying to be right and see who's wrong, basically we're missing the opportunity to actually create empowering healing and health in our community. And the responsibility lays within the individual, right? It's about seeing how we are extremely reactive to circumstances and being able to bottle that passion, right? The fuel, the energy, that we need to actually make change and transformation in the world. But be able to discern where we are being emotionally reactive because of our own unhealed traumas. And what that manifests as is, if you guys have heard of the drama triangle, basically, anybody who's in the Limitless Potential Academy with me and you've gone through the masterclasses, one of the masterclasses is around the drama triangle, which is basically looking at every interaction we have with other human beings. We're all playing these different roles when we're left unconscious and unhealed and not in the best way, basically. And basically, you can see this playing out in our society right now. We've got a whole lot of people operating as victims. They're just completely helpless right now. They're completely overwhelmed. They're completely avoidant to what's actually going on in the world right now, right? And that's a sure sign that they are playing that role of the victim. We've also got a bunch of people out there who are operating in the role of the rescuer, right? They're just trying to save everybody, right? They're trying to save people from their ignorance. They're trying to save people and taking this over responsibility and the burden of responsibility on saving everybody in the world, right? They're operating in that role of the rescuer. And on the other side, we also have those who are basically just persecuting the rest of the world, right? Like, I am right and I'm in this group who's totally right. I'm absolutely right, no question. And these people are absolutely wrong, right? And we need to cut them out of society, right? We've got people who are operating out of that extreme, that role of the persecutor. And so that's why we've got this whole dramatic cycle perpetuating throughout our global environment, because what's happening is the unhealed traumas of the individual are being projected out into our external environment. Normally, this is happening in our family environment, in our intimate relationship dynamics, in our workplaces. But now we've got this global pandemic that is creating this basically this manifestation of our own internal chaos is being put out into the world, and we're operating unknowingly in these really limited ways that are contributing to the trauma for all rather than the healing and the health of us all. All right. And so my reason for sharing this is so that we as the individual, if we really want to make a meaningful difference in this world, if we really see some injustices, some things that are going on that we do not agree with, and we are being called to have a voice on those topics, then, like I said earlier, we need to be able to discern how much of that passionate outrage and calling forth is coming from a really healed, centered leadership place, empowered leader, right? Versus coming from the little child within who still has that repressed trauma and is emotionally outraged and projecting their own trauma onto these external environments and groups of people that is actually contributing to more trauma, even though they think they're doing the right thing. And this brings me to something that I want to share with you guys who are watching a message like this. When I woke up this morning and I really had this integrated perspective of what's going on and all the people I've been talking to, and definitely the conversation I had last night before I went to bed, basically I've decided that I feel like I want to serve people at a higher level, those who, I know everybody is challenged right now. Right? Everybody is impacted in some way, shape, or form. A lot of people are impacted financially, and basically what I was inspired to do and what just kind of came out for me was I want to work with 5 people who are 100 million% committed to becoming the leader of their own life right now. And normally working with me in this capacity to actually face and do the real work of looking at the timeline of your life and being able to pinpoint those traumatic experiences that you're carrying around as baggage right now. Basically, what I want to do is the process that I go through for 3 months with an individual. They usually pay me $6,000 US for that. And I want to take that challenge out of it. And this is just what I was inspired by. 5 people came to mind. I don't know why. I thought 5 people I want to work with in a capacity where whatever you are challenged with, however you are struggling, finances are not going to get in the way. And I have decided that I've put together like a short questionnaire, which is like an application for anybody who is 1,000,000% committed to their own healing and empowerment so that they can truly be the leader of their own life and discontinue projecting their pain and their unresolved traumas out into the world in whatever capacity that may be happening. We all engage in that and basically be able to show up at the end of this time working personally with me to be that leader. To be that empowered leader who is fully committed to making transformation in the world, being a positive impact, being a force for good, and they're doing the work and have done a ton of it, right? So what this entails is you need to be available to work with me every single week. It's going to be working with me on the personal level. And I've just decided I feel really called to make this a little bit of a little group of these 5 people as well, so that you're all going to be on the same journey with one another. All right. And so basically I've decided it's just to pay what you can. Right? It's not a commitment of what it normally is, which is the $6,000 for the 3 months. But you don't apply unless you are 100,000,000% committed to it. All right? Because I'm really called and inspired to serve in whatever way I can. If you feel like this is for you, then this is a good time to jump on board with it. So what I will do is I will post the link. Hang on, I'll do it for you guys now. And basically what you'll need to do is you will need to fill in this form. You'll book in a call. Can I comment? Oh yeah, I think so. There we go. You'll need to fill in this form. You can apply there. And basically what will happen is fill in the form only if you're committed, and we will jump on a call. You can select a time right now. I've just opened up some slots for this coming week where I'll be jumping on calls with those of you who apply. And what will happen from there is I'll gather some more information and I'm going to select 5. Feel called to do it? All right. It's a massive commitment for me because I'm going to be working with you very, very deeply personally. And that's what I feel called to do. So I can't wait to connect with you guys. Any of you who don't sit on the fence, right? If you are ready to definitely just for once and for all, really deal with the past, right? Really heal anything that has been carrying on to this point of your life, right? And to basically become a very authentic, centered, aligned, empowered, healed leader of your own life so that you can actually make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. This is for you, all right? And I'm really excited about it because it feels very deeply moving and inspiring to me. So can't wait to connect with you guys on that. So I definitely want to jump into the comments and see who's been able to join me. If you have any questions, comments, words of wisdom that you want to contribute to today's message, I cannot wait to connect with you guys. So let me check in. Oh, and if this message is of value to you, you know people in your life who could really benefit from hearing a message like this, or even apply for those 5 opportunities that I'm offering for leadership coaching. And it's all about, we're going to heal the past. We're going to really deal with the things that haven't been dealt with. And we're going to set you up to win as a really authentic, centered, fulfilled, empowered, and healed leader. Then definitely share this with them as well. Like I said, I've only opened up some calls for next week. So there's a bunch of slots there. So first in, best dressed, and I will jump on a call with you, and then I'll be selecting 5 of you who I feel will be the best fit for 3 months commitment. All right. So it's a big deal. All right, so here we go. I have got Ashen in the house and Data's here. Awesome. And can't can't believe you guys didn't get to see that fox that came around. It was my poor turning around, whatever I was doing. God, you would have seen all the mess on my desk here that I just slid across before. That's so funny. All right, love it. And Mike, watching your excitement was enough. Your energy is infectious. Thank you so much, Mike. I am feeling pretty passionate. So grateful to have you here. Good to see you back. And Tosoki is here as well. And Jason and Daryl from the Rockies in Canada. Awesome to see you as always, my friend. And yes, Mike, there are a lot of us in the world right now are being very reactive. And it's a sure sign that it points to the unhealed traumas that every single human being, you know, it's a subjective experience. It's not in comparison with others, right? We've all experienced traumatic experiences that we have not yet healed. And that's why we get so reactive in the world. But we have to be able to discern, passionate, like healthy passion and energy towards making a change and doing what we can, versus unhealed traumas. And the two aren't separate, right? They go hand in hand. So that's why they're so closely related, that we need to make sure that we're not just stepping forward with our voice, right? We are also making sure that where that voice comes from is really centered. It's very empowered and very aligned, right? Rather than this reactive outrage that creates more trauma in our external environment and projects more of that pain from our own personal past onto those of others around us. And we need to take responsibility for that and do the necessary healing work in conjunction with taking a stand for what we personally believe in. All right, love that. Daryl, you're on a 3-week streak with your star sending. You are so appreciated, my friend. It's such a gift that you guys give to me as you send through those stars. Makes me very excited that you are finding value in these messages. Thank you, Daryl. And Bill's in the house. Much love to you, my friend. And Data, quite an opportunity. Thank you for saying so. I can't wait. It is an opportunity. I feel like it's an opportunity for all of us. Like, I know within me, like, I follow what I'm authentically inspired by, right? And that's taken me a long time to get into connection with that, and I'm still building that muscle. But what I've offered for you guys today is deeply aligned and inspiring for me, and it's an opportunity for me to serve you guys in the way that I find most meaningful, which is in your empowerment. Right? Like creating the leader, like unleashing the leader that is within you, right? And just as a very personal note, one of my favorite mentors, Dr. John D. Martini, he has this beautiful quote that I remind myself of all the time, which is, our perceived voids create our values. And why I have such a value on empowering people to heal from their traumas and basically no longer project their pain onto those around them, and actually have an ability to add value and contribute and create health and healing in the world in their own authentically inspired ways, is because that felt like it was quite missing from my life, right? And I witnessed a lot of adults in my life projecting their pain onto everybody around them and not taking responsibility for the real healing that was required within them. And enough of that has occurred to create this really deep-seated value within me, and it's why I do the work that I do, is to help people heal the pain that they've been projecting onto others and actually be the leader of their own life, fulfilled, aligned, authentic, and loving, and able to create real intimacy and connection in their relationships, which you can't do when you've got all this baggage that you're carrying around. And so I want to give those 5 people a ticket out of that to become the leaders of their own life. And it's very inspiring to me. So I hope to connect with you, whoever aligns with. And Bill, thank you so much for my amazing star sending. Not an amazing star sender. You are so appreciated and very, very generous. I so appreciate you being here and supporting all that I'm doing here for you guys. Love that. And Jose, yay. Hello, Vanessa. Do you believe in destiny? Why many of the situations have coincidences with relatives of the past generations? I'm trying to connect the dots and the traumas and experiences of my life match with other members of my family. Who creates our own life? Ourselves, the universe? Or is it God playing with us, like a game called humans? Trauma and chaos, how to deal with that, to become a better person in this world full of challenges. I'm 43 and I still with a big question mark in my face for things that don't make sense. I love it. And I so appreciate always, Jose, your amazing contributions of experience and questioning and opening up the conversation. So I love it. So I'm somebody who is open to all and not absolute on anything. So, and I feel like there's truth in all perspectives, but nothing is like the whole full spectrum truth. And that's why it's really important for us to be able to gather up information, learn from different people's perspectives and experiences, and then put it through the filter of our own authentic intuition, basically. So I do believe that, there is the possibility that we are, perpetuating the patterns from our past relatives, from the past experiences. I do believe in a bit of that nurture element versus nature. I do believe that, my thing is, I am not a religious person. I do believe in something bigger, like I'm open to it, right? There's something bigger guiding our lives. And throughout my journey and my experience, that's reinforced by the connection that I have from within, in my own intuition, all right? My own inner tuition, my own inner teacher, right? And basically to know that when I'm on the right path, I'm inspired, I'm energized. When I'm on the wrong path, I'm depleted, I'm depressed, all right? And so, there's something I feel could be guiding that, who knows, whatever you believe as an individual, so long as it empowers you, who am I to question it, right? But if you are somebody who is believing things and getting attached to things that are really detrimental to your own personal progress and sovereignty, then you want to be able to question that, right? So who knows? And it could definitely be God playing a game of humans. Who knows? That's an interesting way to put it. And, the other thing is that what I've personally learnt, and this is another reason why I'm passionate about helping people become the leader of their own lives, is because the confusion that we experience is a disconnection from our own inner truth, right? And so the more and more I have personally developed myself and really started to courageously and boldly trust my own intuitions, no matter how crazy they might seem to others, the more and more I have exited confusion and gained real clarity and certainty from within. All right. And so I think that a lot of the time our confusion and the question marks and all the rest of it, and is it this or is it that or whatever, basically stems from our externalization of our direction versus our internal compass guiding us forward. All right. And the more aligned and centered we get to what is truly authentic to us and be able to discern, what's authentic and what we're just doing to play a role in society or whatever, the more clear we become on our own personal pathway, and the less attached we become to anybody else having to be any other certain way than how they are, I believe in, having that type of freedom and that connection with self, so that you've always got the greatest filter you can possibly have in life, which is the connection to your own authentic alignment. All right. So I hope that was of value. So appreciate you showing up and contributing to the conversation as always, Jose. Thank you so much. And Simon's here as well. Awesome work, Vanessa. Love it. Thank you so much, Simon. Great to have you live. And Data, your passion behind it is inspiring. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you and that feedback. And awesome. Oh, and Data, yay. Question on getting out of the patterns of reacting rather than conscious actions by choice. How can we make it easier to own the things that we have such a strong resistance to own? Great question. And I am actually a big believer in this is the reason why we as human beings don't live solitary lives, right? Why we are driven by love and relationships and connection, right? Is because oftentimes we do more for others than we will do for ourselves, right? So you'll see that be at play. So and also it's very hard, like in the famous words of the incredible Les Brown, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. So I would say that what needs to drive us personally, basically in order to have the courage to face what we're strongly resistant to, is number one, we basically need to have a growth mindset, to take 100% responsibility for our own lives. And this is what helps me. My greatest fear is actually remaining blind to things that that I don't know about, that I should know about, right? That my own empowerment, and living a life where I've just deceived myself or never being authentic, right? And getting to the end of my life and having the same number one regret of the dying as I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I was expected to. Basically having that perspective, this growth-minded perspective, somebody who knows that taking ownership is your freedom and your fulfillment. And when you resist taking ownership of your own life, you are actually placing the limits on your own freedom and fulfillment. So I think having that kind of mindset, that overarching mindset, is a great starting point. And I would say that we want to surround ourselves with other individuals who are taking 100% responsibility as well, because that will inspire us, and have people on your journey who have gone through experiences that you're being faced with. And that's another reason why I love creating groups and community, and that's what I want to do with these 5 individuals, is create probably like a group where you'll be working personally with me, plus you'll have the support of everybody else who's in that group, because it'll have the 2 facets. I can shine light on the blind spots and guide you in the direction and the pathways and through the strategy that is required to get you to the point where you want to get to. And you'll also have other individuals that you get to see and experience what's going on for them, so that they can inspire you to break through, and also get the experience. Like how I coach is basically, I need you to feel a sense of progress every single week. So that's what we basically do. And when you start feeling that little piece of progress in the direction that's healthy, it inspires and builds that momentum in your most healthy direction, which basically makes it a lot easier to own those things that you have a really strong resistance to. So just know, wherever you have a strong resistance, basically it's an avoidance of, it's a taking away of your freedom and your empowerment. And if I don't know a human being who doesn't want to be their most free and their most fulfilled, and it's counterintuitive, but basically the more ownership and responsibility one takes, and alerting themselves to their resistances to point to where that is where they allow themselves to experience the highest heights of their own personal liberty and freedom, and also empowerment and fulfillment. So that's my long-winded answer to your question. Hope that resonated. Thank you so much, Data. And Nanette is here as well. Awesome. So that is my message to each and every one of you guys. I really hope that it was empowering for you. I hope that it inspired you, got you questioning how you're reacting or responding to the global climate right now, what you could do in order to be able to discern where you might be passionate or avoidant, and be able to discern where the trauma lies, the unhealed traumas that we've been carrying around as baggage, or those anchors to the past that you want to be rid of, right? You can't just avoid them or pretend they don't exist. They're constantly pulling you backwards, all right? And they're constantly ruining your good intentions in the world, all right? To have be a force for good in the world, you need to be a leader who's taken responsibility for the necessary and required healing work in order to know that you are adding and contributing value and magnifying the healing and the health of the external world, rather than projecting your pain into it and magnifying the trauma that's already at play. All right, starts at the individual level. Awesome. And Simon, and OAR, some life story is what we should be living. Oh, okay. All right. You're going to explain. I'm like, what the hell is that? A life full of ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Boom. I love that. Not a BED time story. Blame, excuses, and denial. That is freaking amazing. I absolutely love that. Awesome. Thank you so much for such a great share, Simon. Awesome to have you showing up live and contributing to the conversation, as it has been with each and every one of you guys. Reminder, if you want to be one of those 5 people that I am wanting to work at a very deep level healing journey, getting you to a place of real empowerment and leadership in your life over the next 3 months, you can apply as one of those 5 people. This is something that I'm just driven and inspired to do. I feel called to do it from a really healthy and aligned and authentic place. And I only want to work with individuals who are 100 million% committed to doing that deeper work and getting my personal guidance with that. And you have to show up every single week with me. So you can apply with the link that I dropped in the comments, and then I'll get on a call with you. It has a link to my calendar as well, so you'll book in a call with me. We'll get on a call, and then I'll be selecting those 5 people. All right, so that is it from me today, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who's been able to join me live today and contribute to the conversation. You are so appreciated, and if you are catching the recording, don't forget to drop some comments. I'll check in with you guys and do some replies there as well. And can't wait to meet some of you guys who are at a point in your life where you are ready to heal, to be empowered, to be fulfilled, and become a true leader, not only in your own life, but in those that you love and care about, so that when you project your voice into the world, it is definitely one in which is magnifying the healing and the health of all those around you, and definitely subtracting from the traumas. All right, so that's it from me. My message and reminder, as always, is to go out there and honor your authenticity, deepen your intimacy, and contribute your unique gifts meaningfully and purposefully. And I can't wait to help 5 of you to be able to do just that. All right, that's it from me. Any questions that you might have regarding what I've offered for you guys today, you can definitely just shoot me a message, or you can email me at vanessa@vanessajanepatrick.com. Much love to each and every one of you guys, and I will see you very soon.